All right, everybody, we're live once again. Don't Know Podcast, episode number 21. So excited to be back and be doing this. First and foremost, before I get anything started, I wanted to give a big ass shout out to this company that made me embroidered this sweater for me. I have their bag here. This is what it came in, and I thought it was pretty cool. So that's like all their information, and I think it was pretty dope. It's Embroidery Pro Designs, and I'll put like their Instagram or whatever to where it'll be on the screen somewhere, so where you can find it. And yeah, I thought it came out really cool, really nice. And who knows, maybe one day I'll be selling merch or something about it, who knows where this crazy dream will go. But anyways, glad to be back. I actually wanted to do something a little different, something I've never done before, actually. So let me give you guys like a little kind of backstory. Oh, and we smoking it up this podcast. We're smoking it up. I got this, I don't know if y'all can see, it's like fried, I don't know, it's like 2 grams, I don't know. This is vape. This is vape. This is just sugar water. Anyways, we're gonna get this started. And anyways, so to give you guys a little backstory on me, I guess, on your host, Louis Vanco. Oh, and that's what it says on my hoodie, with Louis Vanco. It's pretty dope. I love it, and it's so warm, keeps me nice. I'm definitely gonna be ordering another one from them. But anyways, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, what I was gonna tell you guys is that when I was younger, like this is like junior high, I guess, like junior high or like high school phase, I would go live all the time, like literally, like and any time I had like a free chance to like go live, I guess I would. And it's crazy because like I'll put video up as well, but I'll be watching it on my iPad, but I'll put in the video so you guys can see what I'm watching. But I was going through them, and it kind of made me reflect, on like, and I guess it like brought up like an interesting question as to if, for example, you could go back and talk to yourself, like let's say junior high, like what would you say? Not like any of this bullshit like I would invest in stocks or whatever, but if you could go back and be like, if you'll be like, in a couple of years you're gonna be here and do this and do that, I think a lot of people would be really proud of themselves. I don't think we give each other or ourselves enough credit to like what we've done and what we can accomplish, So I'm going back to my origin, because I genuinely think that like this whole me like podcasting thing, like this all stemmed from me doing these live videos, because I would just be talking to my friends, and that's what I do here, But today I'm gonna be talking to myself, or about myself. But I thought it'd be pretty interesting to see like what's going on, and also to like teach you guys about my life. I mean, I've met quite a couple characters in my life, and I think I'm quite a character myself. So I don't know, I guess we'll get right into it. I'll open this up and get this started, just for future reference. So I tell myself we're gonna be watching this video right here. But anyways, a little backstory on the video we're about to be watching. We were just messing around in like the locker room, fucking around, I don't remember exactly what set this off, but there was this kid, and he just chucks a fucking trash can onto this guy, and I don't remember why. I wish I remembered why. But I guess we'll just start it and watch it from the beginning. But there's quite like I'm pretty excited. I'll try to turn it down. But like I said, I've met like quite a lot of characters in my life, and so like looking back at these when I was young and like doing them, It's pretty crazy, honestly. But just backstory. So I used to wrestle, and most of the time we'd just be talking shit in the locker room, and we'd just be doing all kinds of fucking shenanigans. You know, like when you're in high school, you don't give a fuck. So I just started going live, and then we started doing some crazy shit. And it was around the time where I was skating, because I used to love to skate, and I think that like honestly sets like apart the wimps from like the fucking like people that are genuinely tough, because like as a kid you don't want to skateboard, you know, you're gonna eat shit, fall, fucking crack your ass, and yeah, you're not a lot of people want to do that, but to get up and do it every time, that kind of like separates. And you're not really allowed to skateboard anywhere, so there's like a rebellious aspect to it. And yeah, in the video, I guess I would record people in the in the break room weighing in, or sorry, not the break room, but the locker room. I guess I would record people weighing in, and I mean that's what you do, you know. And in wrestling, I don't know if you guys know this, but you wrestle according to weight classes, and in those weight classes is what makes it like interesting, you know, because you can't have like a big ass tough guy going against a little stick person. That's never gonna work. But in this video right now, man, this guy, his name was Samson, and I don't know, it was crazy. Like, ever since I remember this day, like pretty clearly, pretty vividly, or oh shit. Well, this guy just came up and said, if you have a fat booty, well, you heard him here, ladies. But like I said, this is just dumb shit. Like, I'm just experimenting on this. But that guy, Samson, that big guy, the one that I called King Kong, he honestly was like, he was a friend. He was a fun friend, you know. We would always mess around, and that was his name, King Kong. That was his nickname. And I figured it out that like once I'm cool with you and everything, I think I give you a nickname. But yeah, it's quite interesting to like see like how people have evolved and changed over time, you know. And I mean, this live video, it was in 2016. Can you believe that? We're in 2022. That's 6 years. King Kong. And I don't know, I guess if I could go back in time and tell myself like what I've done wrong, or not what I've done wrong, but just be like, look, you're gonna be a dad. Like when I was a freshman, if somebody, like if me myself came up to me when I was young and been like, you're gonna be a dad at 18, and you're gonna fucking, you know, get a car at this age, and you're gonna get this, you're gonna have this, it'd be pretty scary, honestly. But it's crazy to see how far you've come, and that's kind of like the point I'm trying to make here, and like why I'm watching these and why I was rewatching them in my head, was because I don't know, there's just something so interesting about like seeing you evolve. And I think this is why I do this, like this, why I want to like start making something out of this, you know. For like when my son is older, I have like a whole fucking files, literally files. I guess they would be audio files, but I literally have files of advice, of fucking around, of everything his dad did. So I think that's pretty cool, and I think that's why I chose to do this. I think it's really fun. But I digress. Onto the video. So far nothing has happened, but like I said, some dude comes in with a trash can. And the dude wasn't even expecting, he just fucking chucks a trash can at him. And all these videos I like saved, like I have a separate like account where I have like all these videos of like old, and I don't think I'd ever get rid of them, honestly. And I guess another crazy fact is I paused the video there for a sec, but I guess the other crazy part was I have videos here, or in this account that I'm talking about, of people, of friends that I have known that have passed away. And it's pretty crazy to like look back and like just see how happy we were in each other's presence, you know. And it kind of sucks because my good friend, he passed away, and when I went to go see Bad Bunny in Vegas, I told myself to hit him up and you know, like, hit him up and just see what happened. Like, maybe we can hang out or something. And he was gonna take me to go see some races or something. But I think I saw it like on the internet or something that he had passed away, and at first I didn't really believe it. And honestly, a lot of people get so beat up about like a death, and I get it. Like, that person that you're no longer with is gone, you know. You're never gonna see him again. You're never gonna be able to hold him again. But my thought has always been that if let's say you were to pass away, right? And you could, like, wherever you're from, just like spy on your family and see how they're doing. If they were all depressed because you died, I think you would feel more shitty, and your soul, your spirit wouldn't let you like rest. So I have to genuinely believe that when you pass away, it's not the end of the world, you know. Life goes on, and it hurts and it sucks, and you're gonna cry and whatever, but I think as long as you keep, like, if you keep it in your head that they don't want you to see, they don't want you to be like this, they don't want to see you down, they don't, like, live for them, you know. If they didn't get a chance to live the way, or they didn't get to do or accomplish things that they didn't want to do or wanted to do, you should live for them, you know. Like, quit mourning, you know. A couple of days of mourning doesn't hurt anybody. In fact, maybe it helps you feel closer to that person. But once you take it to mourning, it becomes excessive. Then it becomes addictive, because you just get, that's something that's like a free landing pad to like fall back on, you know. Like, it's just an excuse pretty much when somebody passes away, and you want to use that as an excuse to not do anything anymore. That should be the time you strike, because now you know how fragile life is and how far you want to take yours, you know. You should have this drive inside you that, like, just wants to explode out. And honestly, I was watching this video on how there was this guy, he was explaining how there was this quote that he heard that has changed his life forever. And honestly, when he said it, it made me like completely rearrange the way I think. And I think the quote went something like, love what you do, but don't let what you do define what you are. And what he meant by that was, like, his profession was a barber, but he has such a good way of like speaking, and such a like powerful voice, and such a big effect on people, because I think he's lived like a life that a lot of his audience has. Like, they're from the ghetto, or they're just from like a hard, tough life, you know. They might be from the projects or whatever. But he said that, what are you if you're not like your profession, you know? Like, think of it like this, like, I don't think any job out there would remember you as much as your kids would. So let's say tomorrow you got fired, like, completely. There's people who can't survive off of that. There's people who like depend on their job, you know. But that's what the quote is trying to say. What are you after that? What are you after your job? What are you after your profession? And what I like, he says, is, God has blessed my voice way before he blessed my hands as a barber. And that, like, to me speaks fucking, if that doesn't blow your mind, like, I don't think anything would. Because I like genuinely like feel like I have this drive in me to like take this podcast and take my hopes and goals and dreams to like skyrocket myself onto like success, you know. And I know that it's gonna be tough. Like, I have to do shitty jobs here and there. I understand that. Like, this isn't gonna happen in a day, and I'm willing to put in the hard hours, because there's another famous quote that Jim Carrey said. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but he says that when he was younger, his dad wanted to be a comedian, but since he had like a family, he didn't, like, he just chose the safe way. And after 25 years of fucking putting his grind and fucking hard work in, then he got fired. His dad got fired. And so he's like, in my head, I went, if I'm gonna fail at what I don't want to do, why not fail at what I love to do? And honestly, that's like where my mindset is right now. I don't care if this is gonna take 20 years, 25 years. I want to be, as long as I can see it in my head. And that's the thing, like, if you see a vision, something you want to do, something that like explodes you, something that pumps your heart up, you know, whether it's you want to get promoted, whether you want to make a sale, whatever it is, what gets your blood pumping, like, it should be something that drives you, you know. Like, even just me talking about like where I want to be and like what kind of vision I see, I get like my hair stands up, because I just want, like, I want to see people succeed that bad, and I want to be the one that like guides them and takes them there. And I feel like there's such like a way that I have of talking where I can communicate with a whole bunch of people, especially being bilingual. And now, like, I just have like this voice, and I don't think I'm doing too bad, but I always think that there's better, and I want to go get better, and I want to affect and change people's lives in a way that I and nobody thought imaginable. And if it's with these videos and I get like messages talking to me about like how they listen to the podcast and they like see things differently and they understand, and honestly, to me, I feel like that's like a responsibility at this point, you know. If people, whether it's one person or 100, whatever it could be, like, if I'm affecting at least one person and something is getting through to everybody's thick skulls that we all have, I think it's worth it, to me personally. It's not to a lot of people, and my dream isn't going to be your dream, but as long as you have a vision, don't let anybody stop you from it. Because what tends to happen is, let's say I want to be rich, right? I go up to my mom or whoever and be like, hey, I want to be rich. They'll be like, what do you want to rich for? Nobody here in this family is rich. What the fuck? Go like get a regular job. And like, sometimes the closest people around you could ruin your dreams, but God didn't give them, or whoever you believe in or something, they didn't get that vision that you got. So don't let them burn out the candle, you know. Keep the candle going as long as possible, because the moment you let that candle burn out in your mind, you've given up to the fact, or you've given in to the fact that you're controlled. You are not even attempting at or like trying to be free. And it's not even freedom as like financially, but like within yourself, you know, to like know that you can stick to your word and like actually do the things you want to do. But I digress. We were still watching this video. I paused it. Let's see what's happening. I'm really excited to show you guys the fucking trash can. But it's crazy to see how everybody's like grown, you know. And it's crazy that a lot of people don't grow like mentally, you know. Some people have never left the fucking high school phase. And living like that is like, it must be pretty tough, honestly, to peak in high school. Oh shit, we brought a fucking skateboard to the we brought a skateboard to the locker room. And I wonder how many views these used to get, because I remember it was always like, on a good day I would watch like 7, like have like 7 viewers constantly. And it's pretty crazy. You know what else is crazy? The fact that, oh wait, he's about to throw the trash can. Oh shit! And then he chased him. Damn. I don't know what we were thinking, but fuck, we had some fun times. We've lived it. It was fun. But anyways, what was I saying about oh shit, he came back. Oh, he cracked his watch. He said, fuck you and your watch. But I don't remember what I was talking about, to be honest. But oh, I remember. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't think that when I was filming these videos I would be filming myself watching these videos again, in the hopes that I get more views. I don't know, like it's crazy. Like this podcast stuff is yeah, this is fun. But and what else is crazy to see is like where I've seen these people in like the real life, you know. Well, not in the real life, but like apart from high school, like where I've seen these like other people. And at this point, I guess I had short hair. Like sometimes I don't know why, but there was a phase where I let my hair grow out pretty long, and yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember why. Well, I don't really like washing it when it's super long because it's annoying and it takes forever. But you know, and I get annoyed of it, and then I just cut it off eventually. But in these videos, I've had this guy, the one that I'm talking to currently in the video. I've had him on the podcast a couple times, Junior Rubio, and honestly, he's been like a life friend, like he will always be. And if this podcast ever goes anywhere, you bet I'm gonna be making so many with him, because honestly, like so much of like the characters that we are, I feel like we find a lot in our friends. You know, we take little bits and pieces of friends, of movies, of things, and everything we've seen. So we kind of take it and like build ourselves, you know. So I have everybody to think in this video about who I am today, you know. And it's crazy that like all these were just our worries like back then. Oh, and the teacher that just came in, his name was Mr. Lewis, and he was just this buff old man, dude. He was crazy. Somebody cracked his rib actually when he was like practicing with him, and I was like, what the fuck? But the video ended, and yeah, that was crazy on like just going back. But we could watch another one here. I was just watching these
going live.
Like there's a video where one of my old coaches got dared to eat as much chocolate as possible to the point where he was gonna puke, and like every chocolate was $1 or something. But that was awesome. But yeah, I'm just looking through these old videos, and it's pretty crazy to think what friends like we built over the years and what friends we don't have. Whether that's due to, you know, fucking them being dicks or just things happening. Like, it kind of sucks that as the older you get, like, people tend to draw away from you, you know, and that's not the way it should be. Like, nobody wants help. Everybody wants to do things on your own, and I get it. Like, it's tough, but sometimes when you reach out, you realize that the only person who's really stopping you from like your success or is just yourself. Like, you have nobody else to blame. If I think life is pretty fair because you get what you put in, and that's with anything. You put in hours at the gym, you're gonna get fucking ripped. You put in fucking hours on the video game, you're gonna get good at the game. But another thing that's crazy is I've had people like tell me, how do I start a podcast, you know, how do I do a podcast? And I mean, it's simple. Like, I had nobody to help me, but that's not my point. The point is, they kept asking like, how do you start your podcast? I was like, bruh, I just started, you know. A lot of people think that like this is an easy process, but no, I research what you need. I need like things. I research, like, it's all research and it's all there for you. You just have to want it bad enough, and I want it bad enough to the point where I'm just making these. But my whole point is, I don't mind that somebody asked me, you know, like, I'll be your first guest if you want me to. But it just kind of bugs when they don't have the same enthusiasm as you, especially when you've like tried to encourage it, you know. Like, when somebody asks me about a podcast, yet I don't see the same drive that I do. Like, I'll help them out and everything, I'll be a nice person, but it's kind of hard to see myself in them, you know, enough to like want to actually take it to where I'm going. So it's weird. I wonder how many of us like see it that way. Maybe I'm just being stingy, and I'm not trying to be stingy. Like, if you want to start a podcast and you're like shy about it, like I don't think you should be. It gets easier. Like I used to be a fucking shy fuck. Now I'm a little more okay, but like in the beginning, I don't know, I was fucking shy. Like even now I have like I stumble on my words, but I'm trying, and I mean trying is more than a lot of people will do nowadays. So I don't know. I guess we'll see where this goes. Oh, let's see. I found another video. And so yeah, in the beginning I would say what's up everybody, we're live, kind of like how I do here. So I don't know, maybe things fed into like who I am now, I guess. But I guess we were just carrying the mat. Nothing really crazy. There was a point where like the wrestlers didn't get along with the basketball players, and we were like fucking about to throw hands. But other than that, I don't remember why. Like,
Oh no.
but I don't know why. I don't know. I don't remember really why. But it got crazy. Like nobody wanted to be with them, and I wonder what would happen of like those people.
Why you gotta worry?
And I know like a lot of people that went to Granger might think I'm talking shit just because I was a wrestler, but truthfully and honestly, wrestling was our best sport. Like stats wise, it was our best sport, and I don't know why so much money got pushed into football, because I think that was a waste. Wrestling took back so many trophies, and we even had a state champion, which that's like, if you guys, okay, so let me put this into perspective. So the way wrestling works in high school, in case you guys didn't understand, and maybe I'm teaching you guys something, but so you face off schools, right? So I joined, let's say I'm a newbie, fucking breaking it down. Let's say I'm a newbie and I want to join wrestling. So I find out when practice was and everything. I go in and I train, practice or whatever, and at the one season starts, like our official season, then you start going off against schools, right, and going to tournaments. And the way tournaments work is, I mean, there's different styles, but usually it's bracket style. So this way, so let's say the weights go, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like 106, 113, 120, 130, 126, sorry, 132, 138, 145, 152s, 160s, 172s, 185s, 190s, and maybe like 200 plus. I don't remember. But so you face off your weight, and let's say there's 4 of you. So let's say this is the bracket. These 2 people go against each other, and these 2 people go against each other. So these 2 people win. So now they go off against each other, and then these guys win. And then they go off against each other, and then this guy comes out victorious, and that's how it goes. So if you really want to get good, or not that if you want to get good, but if you like are nervous that like you're gonna lose and that's it, like you're working your ass off for nothing, that's not the way it works. You go through the year, you go through whatever, and then at the end of the year, you have the divisional and the state tournament. So after all that wrestling, then you have the final boss. And on the final boss, same thing. Like it's a bracket tournament, but at the end, that's when like number 1 goes against number 2. You know, the best goes against the best, and that's called the divisional tournament. And that's not the state tournament yet. You have to place like top 8 or something. Top 8 go to the state. At the state, they go off, determine a champion bracket style, and number 1 gets put against the last person on the bracket, and number 2 gets put on the person that's, you know, one above. You know what I'm saying? And then they go like that, and then they meet in the middle, usually 1 going against number 2, and sometimes you get some crazy comebacks where it's like number 8 beating number 1. And that's the excitement of wrestling, you know, that on any given day, or I guess any physical sport, on any given day, anybody can be beat. And that's just like what drives people, you know, this insane like feeling of like, what if? But oh, sorry, we were watching the videos. I digress once again. Sorry, I went off on a little tangent there, but this is pretty interesting to like be watching one time. If I find it, maybe I'll do another one if I can't find it right now. But this one time, so if you guys don't know, oh fuck, my fucking foot hurts just talking about it. But if you guys don't know, wrestling shoes, they're extra grippy, right? Because they grip the mat. So this guy came in running fast. He jumped and braked, but let's say this is like his toes, yeah, and this is his heel. When he jumped up to stop, the fucking gripped on the mat real good and twisted somehow. Like his foot stayed straight here, but his foot twisted like that, and he ended up like breaking a tendon or something, or like an artery. And yeah, fucking, I'm surprised that I've caught a lot of shit on camera. And then there was this video of like one of my friends. He had climbed up at the top of this fucking he climbed up at the top of the pull-up rack, and then he couldn't get down. In the whole video, you just see him in the corner trying to get down. And you know what else is crazy? Back then, I used to think I was fat, and obviously, looking at back then, oh my goodness, those are two King Kongs. That was beautiful. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, I'm curious to see what like y'all think about like this, what I'm doing about like the video and stuff. I just thought it'd be interesting, you know, trying to switch things up, and just kind of seeing where my life is at right now, you know. It's pretty crazy. I'm super happy with the hoodie that I got. I'll definitely be ordering from them. I'll probably try to get like some sweaters or something, like some crew necks. And it's crazy to see how like how much your friends change over the time, and if they're even still your friends. I don't really talk to anyone like from high school, but I think I do have like some sort of connection with like a lot of people, you know. Like right now I could hit up like a couple of people and just say what's up, and I don't think it'd be weird at all. But it's just those connections you build, you know. And if I could go back and tell myself like anything, I wish I could have been more engaged, you know. Like high school is the easiest job you'll have, and after that I think school's a waste of time. But it's I don't know. I wish I could go back and tell myself not to be the way that I was. But I guess if you were the way that you were, then you wouldn't have developed into who you are now, you know. And I kind of think like how people say no regrets, like it's true obviously, but it's like beyond more than that, you know. It's like, yeah, maybe I have a regret or two, but I'm gonna put it at rest because I'm gonna talk about it, I'm gonna say how it is, and I'm just gonna move on. I'm gonna accept the fact that was me at some point, but not no more. Not no more, bitch. But nothing like, you know, smoking on a Monday. I think it's Monday. It's like the 12th or something. My watch has died. I forgot to charge it. My tattoo is fully healed that I've done. No more shedding or anything. And I think that like now being a dad, I think that you should definitely put your kid into like any kind of physical or combat, especially if you're a male, a man, because wrestling, and if you talk to like any like sport combatant about this, like I think you can feel like the fire in their voice. But like wrestling, it just teaches you something that you don't get in regular sports. Yeah, it's a team sport because you guys get points and stuff like that, but the thing is, when you go out there, it's just you. You're in the spotlight. Everybody's watching you, no excuses. Whether you put in more work than he did or he put more work than you did, it's about a fucking show in the 6th round match, or whether it goes to overtime. So many fucking so many possibilities that could happen in this one match. And you go in, you're ready, you shake hands, and the bout starts, and you fucking give it your all, and you get destroyed. What happens after that? You go, you cry, you fucking die. You go in the locker room, you fucking turn on the shower, get naked. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, you lose. And there's just something so powerful about that loss, that so lonely loss, that like you don't get in any other sport. Because soccer, football, volleyball, anything, you could blame literally anybody else, the referee, the coach, the world, God. You could blame anybody. But in wrestling, it's just you. It's just you there. That's the crazy part. But continuing with these videos, I only play 2, and that's kind of like what I wanted to do. That was my goal. I don't want this podcast to be too long. You know, it would be awesome to like see the progress in a year, because I've been thinking, like, what if I take this like really seriously, and like I look back, like kind of the conversation we were having earlier about how what if I could go back and talk to myself? That kind of goes back into that, right? So I think it'd be cool. But I'm not giving up. I hope to achieve something that not a lot of people think is possible, especially being from a place like Utah. And I hope to just get better and become good, and we'll see where this goes, and keep watching these shitty ass videos and keep talking about them and learning, because that's all life is, right? All we have to do is learn, adapt, and survive. And sadly, sometimes surviving seems like it's getting more and more expensive, and which is true. And it's shitty that they've gotten rid of the word recession, or at least what it means. They've changed the definition just to say we're not in one. And if we're gonna start changing the fucking definition of words, and what is gonna be under the definition of woman, you know what I mean? Go in the dictionary and it'll tell you a definition, but you ask anybody else and they'll keep quiet. So I don't know. We tend to be very hypocritical when it comes to things like that, and I guess that's just who we are. But I don't know. Just a thought I had. Over the weekend, I saw, you know, I didn't see much this weekend, other than I didn't do much. Sometimes during the weekend, my friend and I tend to go clubbing, but I mean, nothing special. And there's a fucking bunch of weirdos when we go clubbing. I don't know why dudes are like this, and I don't know who taught y'all. Maybe y'all didn't have a dad to teach you, or maybe I don't fucking know. But why do we fucking huddle around like a group of women that are just dancing? Like, if you're not gonna dance with them, they're obviously not gonna talk to you. So, like, that is just weird and uncomfortable. You know, and I just had that thought, like, always, like, why do people do that? So weird, so uncomfortable. But like I said, it's a Monday. We're chiefing it up here in the party bus. We have the party bus. You can only see the lights a little bit because it's not dark yet. And I have the fucking puta glasses, which are a gift. Well, I don't know if it's considered a gift, but somebody left them in here, so, and they didn't claim them back. So as far as I know, they're my glasses. And if someone out there is like a high school person, and you guys are having like doubts on like whether you want to wrestle or not, this is your sign. This is your fucking sign. Go apply, go fucking register, go do all that, pay the $50, pay the $20. Wrestling is gonna change your life. I literally, all the wrestler people community that I've been friends with, like, I don't think any of them are bad people. We're hard workers. We try our best, you know. I think that's the thing, like, that's the key lesson you take away from wrestling, that you just need to try. Because most wrestling matches are not won through physicality or strength. They're won on the fucking on the 6th minute, on the last minute. Who has the biggest heart and who is willing to fucking top themselves. And if you're a high school person out there and like are trying to find a sign to like do anything, this is your sign, because it'll teach you not only discipline, you're also gonna know how to take a loss. And taking a loss nowadays, trust me, you're gonna need it. And it teaches you things that you never thought were possible, especially if you have a good coach that pushes you. And that's the thing, like, as a coach, you don't necessarily have to be easy on your fucking students, you know. And I'm not saying you gotta kill them, but let them know, you know, let them know that they can do things that they didn't even think were possible. Push them a little bit, you know, but don't be a dick about it. Obviously, you know, we have limits, but sometimes those limits are a little foggy. Sometimes you can do a little more than you think you can. And those moments is what makes wrestling so worth it. But yeah, like I said, it's pretty interesting to see, like, and honestly, now looking at this, like, if you notice, a lot of people get drawn to the camera, like, recording, like, they want to be a part of it, you know. You want to be a part of, like, something good, something fun. So that's kind of what I'm trying to encourage. I want, like, everybody who's out there to, like, talk to me. I want to learn what you want to say. And like I said, since I'm bilingual, I mean, I'm so interested in, like, having, like, bilingual, and maybe even, like, commentating it how I am doing now. Maybe that's what's different about this podcast. But yeah, there was so many memories with one of my friends here. One time we went to this restaurant called Verg's, and they have, like, the fucking, I think it's called, like, the whole cow burger or something like that, the whole slab. I don't know, I think it's just called beefcake, honestly. But it's like a pound of meat, like a fucking, like, I don't know, like a 20-pound burger, just huge. Looks like a flying saucer. Well, it was delicious, don't get me wrong. We finished it, we fucked it up, but it was a lot. And one day we went with one of my friends here. Another thing that was crazy is we used to play this game called slap tag, and it's tag, but when you get tagged, you're gonna get fucking tagged. So anyways, you get slapped, obviously, in tag. But one of my friends was playing with his brother, and his brother was huge. His name was Phoenix, and we would fuck with him. We'd call him Phoenix, and he would get mad. He'd be like, "What the fuck did you say?" But anyways, his brother was not, like, the biggest guy. He was skinny, but that guy Phoenix, he was huge, you know. He looked like Maui. He was shaped like Maui, like The Rock, or like, I don't know. He was shaped like Vin Diesel. He was just big. And everybody was afraid to slap him because you knew if he got you, it would be fucking boom. It would be fucking a thunderclap or something. But his brother didn't have any problem with it, which I thought was pretty crazy. Like, seeing that, like, personally, I was like, what the fuck? Like, how are you not afraid to hit such an animal like that, you know? He was so fucking big. He was just huge. And he would, oh, and you know what the crazy part was? This fucking Phoenix guy, he would, he was like 185 wrestling like 250 because he was just so fucking buff. He was taking down people left and right, and he was so fast, so agile. Most of his losses were because they outweighed him. He couldn't toss them. But the ones he tossed around, they were like a good 225, 250. He'd fucking grab them and toss them. And it's so awesome. Wrestling is dope. If you guys can get into it, I recommend it. I also wanted to do like tetherball at some point. I wonder what that would have been like. I wonder what tetherball me would have been like right now. What kind of conversation I would be having with tetherball league me. But yeah, that was crazy. That Phoenix guy, yeah, I wonder how he's doing. But I don't know if you guys have heard of this so-called what was his name? I need to look it up because I don't want to be wrong. But I think it was, yeah, it's Alexander Karelin. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's this Russian dude. And he was undefeated. He had like 1,000 matches. Like, you guys don't can possibly understand. He had like 1,000 matches that he didn't lose. Yet he lost to one American who had lost his toes due to frostbite and who didn't even seem like winning. But this dude was fucking jacked as shit, and he lost to that guy, which is crazy. I'm just saying, like, the point I'm making is that wrestling sometimes has the biggest upsets and the biggest explosions that you can only dream of. Apart from that, I mean, I hope everybody out there is doing well and receiving these well. I appreciate like all the love and everything, and I don't know. Every time I do these, I have another thing that I need to talk to you guys about, because me and my mom were having this pretty interesting discussion, and it kind of made me think, and it kind of made me like, it kind of made me nervous in a way. It kind of made me kind of like hopeful. So let me just tell you guys about it. So I was having this conversation with my mother about I know it's hard to like tell your mom this or tell anybody this, honestly, but I told her my goals. Like, I told her what I plan to do with this, and like, she doesn't know what the fuck a podcast is. She doesn't know what the fuck, she thinks I'm just fucking around on the camera. But I actually explained things to her and like actually told her where I want to take this, and to like just see like her eyes glow, and like you know, just to see somebody's eyes when you tell them something and you see somebody's eyes fucking glare up and just look at you in like such a way that you know is like true. Like, that is the meaning of life. But anyway, so I finally told her, I finally had a discussion with her, and it's so powerful when like the person who created you finally like hears and like sees what you see. It's kind of interesting, and I recommend anybody who's like having difficulties like with your parents or something, like just tell them your goals. And keep in mind, if you're gonna tell them your goals, one thing, if you're gonna tell them your goals, be ready for them not to receive it the way you want them to receive it. Whether it's good or bad, put your fucking goals out there and just manifest. And somehow the universe, if you're a good person, tends to give back. As long as you haven't if you haven't done anything shady or anything like that, it seems like the universe takes from you. But if you're genuinely a good person that's working hard, it seems that it's like, take it. And I mean, apart from that, I thought it was a pretty crazy conversation to have with my mom, because like, just to see, we were also talking about my dad, and my dad, like I've said before, he's not like a person who typically enjoys getting like talked to. He's very like conservative about himself, about his time, about who he spends things with or whatever. But my point is that we were talking about my dad, and it just came up that I think at first what made me depressed was I thought I had to be like my dad and somehow top it. Like I somehow thought that being some kind of version of my dad was already ingrained in me. I just had to deal with it and get it out. But talking to my mom, I realized that that's not even the case. And that is why I was so depressed for thinking like that. And this is what's true. This is what this is what gets through my head when it comes to this, is like, your dad isn't ingrained in you, whether you had a good dad or a bad dad. It's not that it's ingrained who he was on you. It's that, let me think of how I want to word this. It's that it's a lesson, you know, whether it was a good one or a bad one. Like, let's say I was abused by my dad, whatever. He beat me. He beat the fuck out of me. I have a kid and I go do the same. I'm becoming no better. Like I said, a lot of people think that just because their dad beat them, I have to start beating my kids. That is not the fucking way to do it. Sure, there's disciplining your kids and then there's fucking beating the fuck out of them. But my point that I'm trying to make is when it comes to like my dad, it's not that he's ingrained in me. It's that this was such a powerful lesson that I just wasn't ready for, like, I guess at the age that I was. And I think that's what depresses, like, gets people, at least like men or like kids that I've like talked to, is that's what makes them depressed, you know, the feeling that I can't escape being like my dad. And the truth is that you can. But for one, it's very hard, because think about it. For most people, for 18 fucking years, they've lived with this man and seen this man. And I mean, if you have a good one. And if you don't have a dad, like I said, that's just the lesson. And what I mean by that is, like, you always need to strive to be better, right? That's what everybody wants to do. So why not be a better parent than your parents were? And like I said, the biggest lesson I've learned is be the father that you've always wanted. That'll save you years of therapy. That sentence alone should make you think, because if you're a dad and you're having like some rough patches with your son, there's no better time to fix them than now. And if they can't be fixed, then let's just establish it now and move on. Just talk about it now and move on. Rip off the band-aid. There's no reason like we can't talk to each other, and there's no reason that effort shouldn't be made, you know? This was a really fun podcast. This was a really interesting one. I don't know, I've never done anything like this. I guess you guys will tell me whether you like it or not, whether it's shit or whether you guys want to see more of these. I think they're pretty cool. But yeah, like always, I'm very appreciative of all you guys. You guys are the best. I love all your messages. And like I said, hit up these people to embroider your sweaters. If you see me with any more, you'll know who had them, and I'll tag them always, because I'm trying to support local businesses. But yeah, this podcast was really fun. You guys see a little bit more of the party bus. I'm trying to put these more out there. Again, Spotify, Facebook, Castbox, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Linktree. Just look it up, Louis Vanko. Louis Vanko is yeah. This has been the Don't Know Podcast with Louis Vanko, and I'll see you later, guys.